like I say, the civilian or atomics. Basically, there was this atomics division. Basically, it started sometime around wind scale. It was basically the civilian nuclear um, reactor commission or coalition or board or something like that. I forget exactly. What is the is known as the I don't know. It's basically America's or the world nuclear organization that basically goes around and does stuff today. Like I said, I basically led the Aztecs and some of the other Indian tribes of the old days, and I was the most rich and had the most amount of basically mercury metal and mercury powder. Well, originally I don't know. Some people were trying to use it for paint and trying to use it for for makeup, and I think I might have been one of the ones that was saying that it's not safe, and some other people were saying that it was safe because it was red in color and all that other stuff, and they're trying to possibly use it as a dye for clothes. I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure. But like I said, I had great stockpiles of it underneath the pyramids and underneath or certain pyramids somewhere in Mexico or somewhere. I had it in holding vessels and holding containment facilities, and people would use it for other different things, and then they would go and buy it from someone like from my group or me actually. Anyway, um, and so like I said, I also had a river of it in China or somewhere like that. I wanted to do this river of this like reflected river sign, and since I had so much mercury, mercury anyway, they built a river, like a little river of it and stuff like that, and some little crossing ways and stuff like that. It was all pretty. They built a little room or something like that to contain it, and also so it would flow down this waterfall. It was all mercury. So it'd flow down this little waterfall, flow past all these rocks or something like that, and flow into like this little lake that was mercury, and it would just like recirculate and stuff. So it's just pretty to look at. It's just something that was pretty to look at. That was somewhere in China or something. They had like this river and stuff like that. It's like this little river. I don't know, it was a couple 100 feet long, maybe 300 feet long. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a little river of basically mercury. Um, and you could look at it all you wanted. You just couldn't touch it or anything else like that. And and so that's how I know about that and all that other stuff. It was my little river in China or something like that. It's like this little river had some little rapids and a little waterfall and mercury or something where the mercury would just flow off and go down. And I forget what it was run off of, solar power, steam power, whatever, but it ran the pumps. And it would just pump the mercury around and basically pump it up and then down the river and just recirculating the mercury. You know how how they say Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and his waterfall of chocolate. Well, I had a mercury waterfall and a mercury river. It was one of the Lone Star or LS Lucifer Star Line little exhibits or whatever. You can go see it like some point in time in past and stuff. And it's because from Aztec time and because of all the mining and stuff like that. You use mercury in mining and other things a lot. So. You mix it. You can also use cyanide is another way you can do it. Cyanide or mercury or something like that, and then you just get the cyanide or the mercury out of it. Different ways of getting minerals and stuff like that because the gold and the other things combine with the mercury and then cyanide or whatever, and then you can get it, and then you can pull it out of that. So anyway, it's just a transfer fluid or a transfer for material. That's also why I had some people playing around with it to see if they could do a nuclear reactor. A reactor based on mercury or the mercury fluid, because we use water and all kinds of other stuff in thorium reactors, and that's how like the military, that was one of my nuclear, and then they were lying about nuclear power because Nixon or someone was saying there were all these people saying nuclear power is safe, 100% safe, it's safe it's a safe fuel, blah 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 blah. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You can stand in the room with it. It's fine. And me and my people, or I was like, no, it's not. Those pellets are really dangerous. You can't get near those things. If you get near those things, and they were trying to say it's safe. See, look, it doesn't emit anything. It doesn't give off anything. It's safe. Like the Maltese Falcons and stuff like that. and oh, it just causes hair loss. There's nothing wrong with that. And some sterility, but it's fine. We're fine. It's fine. It's perfectly safe. We can be around it all we want. It's fine. It's safe to be around. And that's like saying mercury is safe. And it's not safe. It's dangerous. You need to handle it the right way. And if you don't handle nuclear isotopes the right way, or or mercury powder, it's very dangerous. If you ingest it or get it into your bloodstream, it builds up in your bloodstream and you'll die. Anyway, I was trying to warn the public and trying to warn people about it, and Nixon or somebody. Um, like I said, there was also that island though, where you'd go to work and you'd work for 3 or 4 months, and then you'd be moving closer and closer and closer to the reactor, where when you're working at the reactor, you only have like a week or a month to live. And they worked it out to the rotation where basically every single person on that island died. They just worked closer and closer and closer to the reactor until, giving them promotion, promising them more money, promising them a promotion, whatever, and then they died. And, long before, they're supposed to get a lot of money or a big bonus at the end of it. And they would just be given, money to live on or given free stuff while they're out the island. And then, and then they would die. And basically they would live and work for about 3 to 6 months or something like this on this one island. And every single person that went there died of radiation poisoning. They just had it worked out. And people felt like they were getting promoted. Like oh, you're going to get more responsibility. So, and basically people were being promoted as the other person died. So they're about a week or 2 or a month apart, basically, where they would carefully figure out where this person was getting toxic and about ready to die. And at the end of it, when these people are coughing, going, it's like, oh, it's just going around, Frank. There's nothing wrong with it. You just need to get back on your feet and get back out there. A couple more days at work, and you'll be fine. You'll see. Everyone gets that cold. It's just a cold going around, and you'll be fine in a few days. That's what they were telling people. They're telling people that they'll be fine, and they weren't going to be fine. They were about to die. They were 3 or 4 days or a week away from dying, and I guess it was part of the JFK Nixon whatever thing. They wanted nuclear power and they wanted nuclear energy, and they didn't care about the cost or the human life cost. So they tried to pin this shit on me. And it's like, I had nothing to do. Like they even asked my workers. They wanted me to go to the workers. And my workers were like, well, if you think it's safe, then we'll do it. But if you don't think it's safe, then we won't go near it. And it's not safe. Nuclear energy is not safe. You get near it, nor is mercury. And in the past, they're saying it's fine. You can stamp your feet in mercury all you want. You can put mercury powder and mercury all over your body, and you'll be fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, yes, there is. You can't do that. You need, there are special ways to handle these materials. They're dangerous. And unless you have a Geiger counter and all that other stuff, you can't just go walking around, splunking around, and just going, oh, it's gonna be fine. I'm not dead yet, and it's been 3 days or a month, and I guess it's fine. So it wasn't fine. There were 5,000 people inside tents suffering like they couldn't move, and they were just spending the last 3 days or last week, like basically they were, until their heart stopped, basically. And realistically, they should just shot them in the head, end their suffering then. Anyway, we uncovered it. They tried to pin this on me, and I had nothing to do with it. I was appalled and shocked that they would treat anyone like this. So I was on some island or something, and I think it was part of the whole Nixon JFK. What, you're gonna trust Zachary, Bill Gates, Mr. Pull women's underwear down with a gun and then shoot him through the pussy? Or are you gonna trust shoot him in the back, John McCain? You really think those people gave a fuck about anyone? Or Nixon, who not only threatened Secret Service agents, but also to 3 or 4 different people said, hey, let's push the button now. Let's do it. Oh, it's just a joke. I'm joking. And it was actually JFK that actually joked about it the most. And years later, as Nixon, he was actually trying to do it. Or it even had a plan of doing it. So, and meanwhile, Rodney and everyone else is going, oh, the Republicans are so great. Oh, the Democrats are so great. Oh, it's so wonderful. Yes, they're giving out all kinds of stuff. It's like they were part of the Bermuda Triangle where ships mysteriously go missing. And no one sees the crew, but you do sometimes see the ships again. And like I said, they tried to take down my ships. They tried to but my crews have guns, and lots of them. I said my Irish crews and everything else. My people would know. My people were in communication with each other. And my ships had radios on them and advanced coding devices. So we could code the messages so they didn't even know what my people were saying. I was one of the people you don't just muscle around. So, and they happened upon someone or something that would not just, I couldn't be bought. You couldn't bribe me. You couldn't do anything. The truth would be known regardless. I don't give a fuck, and they couldn't even kill me. They couldn't even stop me from remembering. So, Lucifer Starline. Rodney apparently could be bought with drugs and sex and money, but I couldn't. And I won't. And the last person who fucked with me, who actually thought he'd get away with it, JFK. Learned the hard way. What happens when you fuck with Lucifer? So, anyway. Oh well. And then I got every single one of his clones. All 30 of them lined up. Oh, I think after 39 years I let him go, but some of them actually, a group actually was tortured for 2,400 years or something like that. I had forgotten about certain people being tortured, and they were still being tortured, or at least their corpses were. I don't know. Most of them were already dead. They pulled out their feeding tubes and gave it up, but there were still a few people forging on. I don't even know, like, they were just like little babbling ball. They didn't know who they were or what they were or where they were. And I felt bad about it. I don't know. I think I was going to have someone fix it so it didn't happen in the first place because it was really bad. Other people might say, I don't know what the point is of torturing someone for 2,400 years. Like, I forgot about them. I'm sorry. Yeah, unending forever torture. No one could stop me. So, well, very few could stop me, so. Yeah, I was really mad. It was 50 trillion years ago. And then I forgot about them for a time. I was, oh wait, are those people still being tortured? Oh shit, we better get word to them. I mean, I guess you could go ahead and keep torturing them. What the fuck? Why not? But yeah, it did happen. It was a thing. It was a real thing. So, yeah, Lucifer Starlight, LS. Like I said, later on, at some point in time, they got verification that it did actually happen. Even video of it, I believe. I don't know. I don't care. It's like, it just kind of like, and people learn, don't fuck with Lucifer. He did do this. I did do it, yeah. So, quite proud of it, actually. Kind of proud, kind of ashamed, I'm kind of like on the fence. I'm proud, but yet I'm not proud. So, anyway, that's why people were like, oh, fuck. It's like, well, they were very bad people. Even the Germans might have checked it out and might have said, well, they're very bad people, you see. And, I mean, they killed a lot of people. They tried to kill a lot, even more. They're trying to kill all the life in the universe. So, You know, it was the only way that they could make man or humanity in their image, blah, 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 or something like that. I don't know. It's some sort of sick, twisted plan that JFK had come up with over the years or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, but it's true, yes. You know, like I say, he had never been the golden boy. He was never anyone of any substance or anything. And like I said, they didn't even have nuclear bombs. I had nuclear bombs. The Panama Canal had nuclear weapons. We tested the first nuclear weapons used in construction in 1812. That was me. That was my Germans. And like I said, they were trying to say, blah, 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 they didn't pay, blah, blah, you don't own, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, they did. And the Germans even went to Panama and said, yes, look, the books, here. Everybody was paid. They went there on my behalf and said everyone was paid. You know, the Germans were just doing the counting for me. That was it. Everyone thought that the Germans were so rich or the Germans were doing this. No, they were just my accountants. And they're paid a salary as well. You know? So, anyway, yeah. Basically, Roosevelt or the Republicans or JFK or someone was trying to take over Cuba. Or Colombia, I mean, sorry. He's trying to take over Colombia. And trying to turn Colombia into his own little private little whatever. But I own Colombia. I owned Colombia. So, he was, you know, they were trying to, you know, steal money or whatever, you know, and try to do this thing where they own Colombia. And it actually was, like I say, it was JFK and Colombia is trying to say that, you know, sword in the stone, the round table, blah, blah, blah. You know, they used to call him King Arthur or something like that, or King whatever. You know, or Harry Potter, or they used to call him Harry Potter because, you know, he was, I don't know. I don't really care. You know, he was a sick, twisted piece of shit. You know, they used the submarines to blow holes in ships. You know, in wooden ships and Chinese wooden ships and other ships. They were preying on anyone that went through the Bermuda Triangle or went into that little area. And like I said, they didn't have radar on the submarines either. They were using the aircraft carriers. They had bribed a guy in the aircraft carriers that and paid him like $250 per cargo ship that they radio it in about. So then the pilots would be getting paid like $12 or something like that if they spotted a cargo ship in the water, you know, to try and guesstimate the position. And then they would relay that to the submarines, and then the civilian submarines, and the civilian submarines would go and try and board the ship or something like that, using my submarine rentals from Pearl Harbor. And they were trying to get Pearl Harbor taken off of the travel list, trying to isolate Pearl Harbor, a whole island. Anyway, like I say, I don't really care. It's your fucked up existence, and basically, you know, that's why they were trying to make it look like Abraham Lincoln was a real person and a real whatever. Like I said, the truth came out, and I'm telling the truth right now. Abraham Lincoln was just this guy, you know. He modeled some clothing for me. He went out and maybe passed out catalogs, you know, as he went around. He was paid a fee or a wage or a yearly wage or a monthly wage to pass out the catalogs or something like that. And basically, he modeled for the clothing line. And so the more catalogs, the more people ordered from the catalog, the more money he would make, or, you know, company. We sold a lot of clothes. There were other things advertised in the catalog as well, you know. So, you know, I was printing paper and making catalogs, and then people could order it. You know, so, anyway, and Abraham Lincoln was one of the models. He went to Paris, he had his picture taken, blah, blah. The models were paid a full day's wage, you know, to model for like 30 minutes or an hour. Because sometimes the plate might not come out right or something like that. And they might have to, I think what it is, you make the plate and then you test it or something like that, or I don't know. I don't care. It's an old process. It has to do with printing and all that other stuff, as most things. So, anyway, you know, it's all part of my company, the Lucifer Starlines company. You know, and he was just a person that people said looked good in a suit or something like that. So, and he would hold still for 30 minutes or an hour. So anyway, like I said, I don't really care. He was just some guy that, and then later on, I think I paid him to do some public speaking or something like that. And eventually, he came after me to kill me. You know, and he was going to be touring my factories and leaving out my train or something, or my carriage, or something like that. to go tour my factory or something like that. Like a bunch of people thought they were going to take over. And it's like, well, yeah, probably not going to work. So, it's like whatever. Just like Rodney trying to pretend that he's Lucifer Star or something like that. It's like, trying to say that I'm Brian and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm not Brian, though. I'm Lucifer Starline. I'm the actual creator in human form. So, and then they're trying to get all these doctors or people or accredited, whatever, blah, blah, or people that say that I'm crazy and I'm having delusions or the sound waves, the ultrasonic sound waves are affecting my brain in such a way. It's just like Richard Nixon saying that the yellers. See these little squiggly marks, these 3 squiggly marks? It indicates a neurological problem where people will lock in position and yell really loud. And you just have to walk up and grab their arms and put their arms down and wait for them to stop screaming, which can last 5 to 15 minutes. If you catch it in time. It's just a way to keep people busy and stuff. Well, like I said, while these idiots, these 35 to 120 people would be yelling outside of a house, they would be clubbing some German to death or raping some girl inside the houses. So these natural yellers basically migrate together naturally and will be in large groups. And one little sound, could be as little as a pin drop, could set them off. And then he's appearing on TV wearing all kinds of star medals and all that other stuff, calling himself a hero of the Republic or a hero of the whatever. Like I said, I don't give a fuck. It was pathetic and it was shit. I wanted him put in jail. I wanted his head cut off. I wanted him dead. He was a shit person that was trying to abuse my legal system. And I'm sure Rodney was a part of it, being a yeller or something. A little white t-shirt, white underwear. Rodney running around, being an idiot. I said, as far as I'm concerned, they could all be tortured. I didn't care. No one cared about them. They were taking baseball bats to old people. And like I said, they would burst into the room of an old person that they were going to call a war criminal, a Nazi or whatever, a war criminal. And it was just old Germans that had money. They would just burst into the room, and the funny part, like I say, is the Germans all had guns. So they would, the old man with a Luger, and he would shoot like 5 or 6 of them, and they'd be all like, keep going, keep going, keep going. We'll get them now in a minute. And there'd be like 5 or 8 people dead in the room. And the guys in the back would be like, go, 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 trying to get a human wave to push into the room. And they were just getting their people shot. It's like a really bad school activity. So everybody else would be like, oh my gosh. And that's why Rodney, Rick Bush, and a bunch of other people are like, no, 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 no. But look at the Stomp group. Research the Stomp group. Bunch of people getting like little young girls to have sex with older men and even slip drugs into their drinks, and then they would say they drowned in a pool. We were all there. We were all there. I don't know what happened to Bob. A lot of people looking at all these death of these people that died, and it's like these people are all rich. They all had money in bank accounts. They were all rich, and then these people basically divided up the money and walked away. 300 or 1,000 people, whatever, have a full party, and they kill some actor or some person, basically, and then they divide the money up among themselves. And then they go to court and say, oh, I don't know what happened to him, he drowned, or well, he was actually having sex with some little young girl or something like that. They basically just, like I said, they would come after me too as a small young child. Like I said, they looked at Brian or little Lucifer as just another child. They saw me and they thought, oh, he's just a rich kid. Like I said, I had $100 million put inside a bank account for my vacation. Lucifer Star line. Owner of the Titanic, the Leviathan, Lusitania, blah, blah. But it's like, well, I'm not just a young, small little child. I'm not just Brian. I'm just a teeny little bit more than that. The actual creator, the actual builder of the LSF. A colony ship. For which it's been here 3 times to Earth. Or more. Epic Space Explorer. So, you know, I'm like, don't really care. There's me. Lucifer Starline. North Star Mine. South Star Mine. Lone Star Mine. Star Ranches. Star Ranching. Star Steam Trains. Star Steam Ships. Somebody was trying to say all I had was ships and not space. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the LSF. Colony ship. The LSF Blackbirds, made of depleted uranium, and sitting in a warehouse for over 250 years or 500 years with cracked tires, and were obviously clearly old and obviously clearly built long before 1975. I own them. So to Rosalie and Rodney and a bunch of other people, you're going to be screaming. You're going to be going, ah! It's like, you know, and the Japanese, the Irish, even the Middle East and the Gypsies are going to be like, hey, whatever. You know, you want to believe some piece of shit like Rodney? Like I say, Rodney was actually going to get executed or something like that. I backed him. I said Rodney was a good military officer. He did have honor at some point. I admit probably the cocaine and the drugs and everything else like that may have made him go wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what happened to Rodney. And honestly, it was later on determined or found out that basically it was Rick Bash, my neighbor, who basically talked Rodney into it. Pretty much saying that, you know, oh, Lucifer Star is just his party name. It's just a party name or whatever. You know, it's like, it's not a party name. It's not like my cool name. Like, my name means gunpowder, or is gunpowder. Or actually, gunpowder was I named a version of gunpowder after my name because we had Lucifer powder, which is sulfur and saltpeter and some ammonium nitrate or something like that. Or a little bit of, it was a mixture of stuff. And it's something my people did. You know, I had chemist. So anyway, other people were like, my name means gunpowder. It's more like, no, I had a product line of gunpowder and shells, like Starline shells. Starline brass. Starline gold. Starline copper. Lucifer Starline. Starline steamships. And stable iron. Stable steel. You know, I'm the creator. And also checked on particle matter throughout the universe. Particle creation matter, you know, checked on the particles and the different elements that are being created throughout the universe. For a very long time. So I'm just like, you know, guys, good luck with that. You think it's going to matter, Court? You think my epic vacation ruin really matters? Compared to 3,000 or whatever worlds. Rick Bush at one point in time said, we control 3,000 worlds. We control as many worlds as you do. You mean you control my worlds eventually, maybe a little bit, kind of, sort, but not really. Why? Because some elected piece of shit wants to lie and try and twist the future around? Try and make the future think something that wasn't true and they realized it? Because there are thousands and millions or trillions of races out there in the universe, and a lot of them are a lot more powerful than the human race. Like I say, the human race and the computers that were with the human race lost. You know, the other life forms in the universe won. The only way for it to work was to kill off all other life in the universe and basically practically kill off your own past, which is called a paradox and impossible. So I'm just like, you know, judges, you know, lawyers, you know, police officers, you know, everyone else. If you want to get yourself tortured, if you want to die or at least look like the most worthless losers or pathetic people in existence, then that's called free will and free choice. And I give you that option. You know, if you want to follow Rodney or some Joe's Witness or some other Pope, his name even means shit. Or believe in some God, government authorized delusion, or government of defense, or good of defense, I don't know. It's an acronym, just like the DOD. If you want to believe some person that rents a steam train and passes out soda and candy out the back, that's probably been liberated from a ship or stolen from a ship, basically bound for America anyway, you know, where they actually had to kill the crew and then later on sink the ship or steal it or repaint it or something, you know, part of the Bermuda Triangle, you know, then that's on you, man. Thousands or millions of people died over something really, really fucking stupid. It's just my vacation. It was just $100 million sitting inside my vacation. I'm not just some trust fund baby. Lots of people would say he's not just some trust fund baby. And it's true. It's like, you know, Rick Bush and Rodney and everyone's like, we control the courts in the town, and the doctors, and then we put them in a way, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know, you're going to put the founder of all laws and even the genetic creator of the human race, the one who genetically created the Liffin stallions and spines and endoskeleton life forms and exoskeletons and 1.5s in jail and prison on his vacation. And the first time he's ever been in human form. And then try and get someone like Trumpy's son to pretend to be the real Lucifer Star to the public. I mean, hey, that's why JFK was, you know. And, you know, he ended up being tortured for 39 years or 2,400 years. And realistically, they were trying to get other people tortured, knowing that I was going to torture 1,000 people. Or something like that. Or that somebody was going to get tortured. Somebody's. So they're trying to get other people to do worse things, so their things would seem not so bad. But in doing that, they had to do even worse things. So, you know, they were still found. Anyway, whatever. Happened years ago. 50 trillion years ago is already over. So anyway, like I say, time and space can work differently for some people. So, as some Germans might say, you're dead and you just don't even know it. Like, it was already over. It's already over. You know, just Rick Bush and Rodney are like, we just a little bit more, we'll get it. We can get through this. It's like, no, you can't. You're done. The Republicans are fucked. The Democrats are fucked. The aristocrats they're done. It's already over. There's not a galaxy coming towards us. There's not a galaxy coming towards us. It's all bluff. It's all lies. We're not intimidated. It's like, really? Like, what do I care? What do I really care about any of this stuff, man? Do you think it matters to me? And they're going to do whatever they want to do. Thousands of millions of billions of trillions of people go look over my vacation, look over everything, and they make their own decisions, man. Rodney and a bunch of other people are just going to have, oh, we have the more believable lie. It's like, I'm not lying. Nothing about Lucifer Star is fake. It's all real. Everything's real. Everything's factual and actual and in reality. And I don't care. It's like, hey, I don't have to care. They tried to imprison me. They tried to torture me. They tried to do everything to me. And most they could possibly do is make me think that maybe I'm Brian. And maybe I don't have money. But I do. And maybe I'm not the most powerful person in the universe. But I am. I named the Milky Way. So for at least you, and I named it as a child without you even hearing me name it. Or telling you exactly. Somebody else did it on my behalf. So, you know, I don't really care. And the original name was like MC or something or other, blah, blah, blah. We changed it to Milky Way. And then we advertised blah, blah, blah. So I'm not trying to warp things around. I'm just Lucifer Star Brian, the namer of America. Owner of the Britannic. Britannic! Other people are like Britannic! There's other people that are laughing and having a good time because like I own lots of steamships. Lots and lots and lots. I mean, I'm rich a couple hundred times over. A lot of people had fun. A lot of people had legitimate good lives. A lot of people got glasses and were legitimately able to see and were very happy about it. A lot of people really love my cars. A lot of people got into all my aircraft and loved them. A lot of people traveled around the world. A lot of people use my stagecoach service. And they talk about how the sheep company or the ship company handled everything. All they had to do was buy a ticket, and they would they'd go on the stagecoach, the hotel, then they would sit at the hotel, and the ship would arrive, then they would go on to the ship, and then they would go over to the other place, and then they would wander around the other place and be ferried around and stuff like that, and they would eat really good food, and they would go back and they would be really, really happy and would write these glowing reports about everything, how everything was handled and everything was taken care of, and everybody acted great, and they were protected at all times, and there was always a security guard around making sure that they're safe and everything else like that. And there's only one or two really bad people that were abusing the privileges of employment, and they were just fired or told to leave. I mean, it was all a really good, loving, caring group that would really acted really well. And it's just that, Richard Nixon, John McCain, and some other people were really bad people that were trying to abuse everything. Trying to lie about everything. So, I don't really care. It's their problem, it's them. My conglomerate was so huge that it was almost unending. The empire for which the sun never set on. So. Anyway, good luck with that, guys. Brian, come out with your hands up. My name's not Brian. My name's Mr. Starlight. Boy, are you going to have a bad afterlife.